That so feels like a Ring commercial.
You know, it's like it's better than the other one where I thought we were going to get sued by Disney at any moment.
Oh, I still have that one. That's only for special occasions.
It's only for like special occasions when the Little Mermaid's out or like a new Bad Guys movie.
Oh my god! All right, well, if it's your first time here, no, we do not talk about Disney and special occasions and all that kind of fun stuff. We're here about real estate, focusing on Southern California. Something that I want to talk about before we get into all this stuff. You'll see the clicker. You see our phone numbers right here. I'll have the clicker going with properties. I'm going to go over this information and some other stuff. But one thing, so David reached out to me because he's our lender. I'm a realtor. A lot of stuff you see online about how the market is tanking, all these foreclosures and everything like that. He goes, what is the numbers of the foreclosure we have in San Diego? And I was like, all right, we have roughly like 980,000 properties in San Diego County, residential properties in San Diego County. And with notice of default and notice of sales, we have roughly about 900. That's not even including.
No.
Yeah, the ones that
are.
You're
telling me there's a chance to buy a foreclosure, Vinnie? There's a chance. 900 properties out of
900
all the properties in San Diego.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just really food for thought when you're kind of looking at the numbers. And then also something I thought was kind of intriguing. If you look at the ticker kind of below, you'll see that, what is it? What was I looking at? The detach. Okay, so inventory slowly trickled up to 4,200. Okay, pending properties has gone up to 2,200. Now all the properties are going to sell, but let's say we do that. That means we have roughly about 2 months of inventory. We've been having the last like couple of months about 3 months of inventory. So another thing too, if you look at the detached properties, similar, we have less than 2 months of inventory on that clicker right there. So
that's not good.
Food for thought right there. So, I mean, unless we get a drastic influx of properties, if we keep around this 4,000, even to like 5,000, and we do get the rates that we're thinking about getting, they're going to go lower, right? Closer to summertime, you're going to see kind of some craziness in the market.
I mean, it's interesting, Vinny, because I talked to a friend of mine the other day, and his take on the whole scene in San Diego was, we're building so much condos that all the value is going to plummet pretty soon.
In the condo market, it could. You could see a drastic. I mean,
you have to look at it this way: is what is the completion rate? How long does it take, and how many until all of them go active? And then you have to look at. We already have a supply and demand problem. So when we went over that, I was talking to the person about that. It's like, yeah, you can build hundreds and hundreds of condos, but we still have a supply demand problem. And the problem is there's still more people coming here. So we don't have as many people leaving. You still have a larger group of people needing housing. And the one thing that, could potentially happen that, is food for thought is it could push rental prices down somewhat too. If there's tons and tons of condos, all in certain areas. And I'm going to use Mission Valley as an example here because, man, they're building a lot of condos in Mission Valley. And that market looks to be incredibly saturated. That's going to be coming up in the next 2 years when they're all finished.
Well, something to think about, like, even if we look at like the clicker, look at the clicker too. If we look at just attached market, right? Condos, townhomes, twin homes, row homes, attached market. I mean, we're at roughly about 800 pending properties and 1,900 active properties. So even at that point, if all the pending properties go for sale, of course, we're still only like 2.5 months of inventory, which is
that's very low. Like, what is historically San Diego's norm for months of inventory? What is considered a healthy normal market?
Well, a balanced market is 6 months. We've never been into a balanced market. We've usually been into a month to 3 months, right? We've usually been in this kind of like this window of time because we have low inventory. You got to remember too, our solds are relatively some of the lower numbers that we've seen in a long time, but we're starting to see an uptick in the market because rates are starting to trickle back down again because we had that window of time where we were a couple years ago in the 3%. Then we got up to, I think what the peak was like 8% or something like that, right?
Yeah, I mean, you were up at where a lot of things were averaging 7.75, 7.875 on purchases, which, historically, nobody ever wants to hear you say this, but historically speaking, that really wasn't that bad because people only remember the rates that you got during COVID. So everybody compares interest rates to COVID. And unless we get another COVID, which you never know, and unless aliens invade, which could happen, then if rates go back down to 3%, the whole economy is going to hell in a handbasket, and you're going to have bigger problems on your hands than worry about mortgage rates. And you're probably not buying a house.
But even if we get down to closer to 5%, right? Which
you're already going to get that. You already have that now.
Well, no, I'm saying if we get closer to 5%, I mean, yeah, and I remember you talking about that you got someone like the high, like, was it high fours?
No, so it's like, so if you look right now, like, you know how you're on Mortgage News Daily right here?
Yeah.
All the loans I locked on last Friday, not Monday because the market was closed, on FHA and VA, they were locked down at 5.375%. Now APR was 5.45. There was no really points involved, but as you can see, rates were higher on Friday than they are today. Today they're even lower. I would imagine, like, if I looked at the market today, I wouldn't be surprised if a really good borrower on a single family house with FHA and VA, you could probably get down to 5.25.
Well,
and
see,
that's amazing already. You know, APR 5.35.
Perception becomes reality, right? So the thing you guys got to think about, and most of the people here, I mean, you're watching us online, right? But most of the people are here, or most people in the market, right? They get their clips from the news. They get their clip from like clickbait stuff, right? So what's going to happen is that basically you're going to see rates go lower, right? Rates are going to get, let's say, across the board, maybe in the mid fives, right? Maybe even closer to the low fives, right? But what's going to happen is people are going to buy down the rate. And you're going to hear people talking about, oh my gosh, I just got my rate locked in at 4.9 or something like that. And you're going to say, oh my gosh, you can get interest rate at 4.9. You're going to see influx of people jumping in the market, right? I mean, what basically is pushed out there is going to sway people's idea of the market until you actually talk to a lender, right? And then the same thing with talking to a realtor. You see basically what you see on your feed for the most part, or what's on the news. I mean, and that stuff's not really trying to educate you. It's just trying to get you shock value.
No, it's clickbait. I mean, there's a lot of lenders who are all advertising 4.99, but they don't realize they're paying 3 points. This is really interesting. I saved this right here. This is called a newspaper. For those of you who don't know what it is, it's called the Wall Street Journal.
Ooh.
And yes, I know it's a newspaper. But the interesting part is the government the banks, especially JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, and Bank of America, Citigroup, are all now legislating to go back to the government to change their restrictions because their rates are so bad on their loans in comparison to non-bank lenders. So the interesting part about this is it's telling you your banks have higher rates than everybody else, and they can't compete with lenders out there that don't have all the overhead that your retail lenders have, that your banks have, that your credit union, all of those credit unions, same thing. And they want to make the playing field level. Now, what does that mean for you as a consumer? It means they're not going to require banks to keep as much reserves in them anymore, which is the same thing happened in 2008, by the way. And that way you can get better interest rates. So this is supposed to come to fruition in the next like 6 months to a year, which will push interest rates down once again. But personally, it's a bad idea because why do you want to lower, reserve requirements on banks so they can make more risky investments, which is exactly what you had happen in 2008 when you let the banks have risky things they can invest in, not keep reserves. And that's what they're asking for again, right there, Wall Street Journal, boom.
Well, I mean, let's see what happens. Let me show you fast too before we head out. I just want to show you. So the detached market trickling up. I mean, the holiday market, right? Holidays going down, holiday going down, holiday going down, uptick, holiday, uptick, holiday, uptick. I mean, it's not rocket science for the last couple of years. And if rates go farther down, we're going to see an uptick in pricing. I mean,
I'm going to tell you, I'm still telling you rates are going to come down. They're not going to come down until the new Fed chairman comes in, because the current Fed chairman is now in a tit for tat bat with the current administration. So everyone's just basically name calling, which gets you nowhere, instead of problem solving. So you're not going to see probably any rate movement until May.
Yeah.
Until then, you're going to have ebbs and flows up and down. And please be careful if you're out there about who you're going with on your mortgage, because, you know, a lot of lenders are totally mispriced right now and they're way out of the market. And a lot of them won't even be the same as Mortgage News Daily. They'll be way worse. And that's going to be your banks and your retail lenders that are overpriced, passing it on to you, fortunately.
So, I mean, what you can do today, if you're thinking about buying, again, in 6 months, a year, or getting ready for that summer rush, right? Give myself or David a call. We have the numbers going below. Reach out. We can give you some advice, getting things set up for that future purchase. Talk to you soon.
Boom.